up, guys? Welcome back to the BSGL. We are fresh out of the All-Star break and ready to head into the end of the season, as this video will be covering the end of February and into March, and then the next video will be the end of the regular season. As in this first game, we have the Toronto Huskies and the San Antonio Brigade going up against each other, as both of these teams are the Brigade is the 8th seed currently in the West. The playoffs started today, and the Huskies are the 9th. So both of these teams need wins to try and keep their playoff hopes alive. So let's see how they play against each other in this one. So like I said, we have the Brigade and Huskies up first in this game, as there's DeJuan Jones getting inside positioning on Oliveira, and he gets 2 easy points off the bat. So there's Owen Bradley crossing over behind the back, throws it up, and he gets 1 to fall. That is now a 1-point Brigade lead. Owen Bradley driving again, gets 2 more for himself. 3-point game now. Here's DeJuan Jones inside, goes out to Baldwin. His man crashed in on Jones, and Jones finds him for 3. 2-point Brigade lead now. Here's Bradley throwing the lob to Jackson, who punches it home to tie it up at 11. 13-11 now. Here's Baldwin inside, two-footed jump and then a one-handed slam. As Brigade now lead by 1. Bradley, crossover, lob again, this time to Thornburn. 1-point lead for the Huskies. Here's Jones. Deep fader, looking like Kobe if he weighed 300 pounds, and he knocks it down. 5-point Brigade lead now. Here's Bradley again. Crossover on Maravich. Goes up and slams it home with both hands. Poor Maravich never had a chance. 7-point Brigade lead now. Here's Bradley again, driving, getting more points right at the rim, as he lowers it to 5. 7-point lead now for the Brigade. Here's Jones inside as he nails the lefty hook, and it's a 9-point game. Huskies work it down to 3 here at the end of the third quarter, as here's Bradley inside. What a pass from Aflalo, who finds him for the and 1 as he hits the free throw to tie the game at 30. End of the third quarter now. Here's Aflalo again. He goes to Leach. Leach at the horn. No good. Bradley gets it before the clock expires and puts it in. 32-32 now in the fourth. Bradley again driving right around Maravich, and he's got 2 more. 34-34. Bradley driving again, this time on Jones. Flips it up, and the floater is good. 2-point lead now, Huskies. Here's Maravich. The lob to Jones, who throws it down. The reverse jam off the lob. 38-40. Here's Bradley off the screen on McKinnon. Goes up at the rim. 2 more right at the rim for Bradley. He is driving again, still against McKinnon. He's going to use the screen from Thornburg. Go left. That's a mid-range jumper. No good, but Santos de Oliveira gets it. No good. Thornburg puts it in, and they tie the game with 1:08. The Brigade's next possession. Here's McKinnon, mid-range shot. Got it. 2-point Brigade lead with 54 to go. Huskies need a bucket here. Here's Bradley at the hoop, and he gets blocked. He is blocked out of bounds. And it is now, so they have to do something on this possession. Here's Justice. He's hit one of only 2 game winners in the BSGL, and he knocks that one down. I'm pretty sure there's only been 2. There might have been 3, but he's hit one of very few. As here's Maravich. He gets blocked by Thornburn. So the Huskies will have the ball with 6 seconds left now. They run it down. Here's Bradley, top of the key. He goes up, deep 3. He's open, and he misses it. So we are headed into overtime, as the Huskies seem to always get in these real close games. As here's Maravich off the double screen. Deep 3. He got it to open up overtime. He gives the Brigade a 3-point lead. As they turn it over, Maravich, though, has the ball again. He's going to stop and pop in the mid-range, and he hits another one to give him a 5-point lead with just 2:29 to go. Now still a 5-point game. Nobody scored since then. Here's Justice on the inside. As he gets fouled, he would hit both. Huskies get another stop. Here's Justice again, driving around Baldwin. He goes up, puts him on the deck on the Euro step, and gets 2 more. 1-point lead for the Brigade. Here's their next possession. Justice defending. Man goes around him, but he plays good defense and gets the rebound. As here he comes the other way. Goes to Raven. Raven pulls up mid-range. He got it. Banks it in. Huskies with a 1-point lead. So now Brigade's next possession. Maravich goes inside to Woodard. Woodard puts it in over Justice, and it is now a 1-point game again. Huskies need a bucket to regain the lead, and Raven turns it over. So Jones is going to bring it the other way, and they run the clock down to just 7 seconds.
shot clock, game clock have about a 2-second differential. Here's Baldwin inside. He missed, and Justice gets the rebound. So with 3.3, they have a chance to win it. Let's see what they do on the out-of-bounds play. Oliveira looking around. Finally gets it into Raven. Raven right back to him. He goes to Justice in the corner. He puts it up, and it's good. Kenny Justice hits his second game winner of the season to lift the Huskies over the Brigade in San Antonio. Is he the most clutch player in the BSGL? He's got 2 game winners in just a 29-game season.
So that will conclude week 1 of highlights here at the end of February, as we see that the Legends defeated the Townhawks in the first game of the week. They defeat them by 12, another L for the Townhawks. Somerton led the way with 21. Myers was down here with 14 and 10. Baumgartner led the way for the Legends with 23. George with 19 and 18. Going into the next game, the Bison defeat the Pandas by 7. Con with 23, 17 and 10, a nice triple-double. We see that Lamani Bates led the way for the Bisons with 26, and Lufung was down here with 11 and 15 and 8. The Buzz defeated the Wranglers by 11 in Utah. Willingham led the way for the Buzz with 21 points, as we see that DeAndre Johnson was down here with 14, 8, and 10. For the Wranglers, Lamar Shelton led the way with 34, 9, and 8, and Lamar Outlaw had 21. The Hilltoppers went to Denver and defeated the Goblins by 8, as Wade Cage led the way for the Goblins with 37. Red had 21, and Abdul Aziz had 20. For the Hilltoppers, Bowen led the way with 22. Parker Puff with 21, 9, and 12, and Holland Corn had 18. On the last game of the 24th, good lord, I can't talk. The Predators defeat the Brigade by 11. Maravich had 24, and Jones had 11 and 16. O'Gallagher Jr. led the way for the Predators with 18, and we see that Kevin Ball had 14 and 10 down there. On the 25th, the Bison lose yet again, this time to the Wolfpack by 19. The Wolfpack, for the Wolfpack, Shackelford led the way with 21. Smith had 20. Cartwright had 15 and 12. For the Bison, Towers with 22 and 9. Fung with 14 and 10, and Wright with 14. The Hilltoppers lost to the Blaze by 16 as the Blaze get back to 500. Johnson led the way for the Blaze with 20. Riley had 18, 8, and 7. And Richmond had a double-double down there. Parker Puff had 23, 7, and 11. And Bowen had 15 along with Holland Corn, as there was nothing on the 26th. So on the 27th, a big L taken by the Atlanta Legends. They lose this one by 38 points. Wade Cage led the way for the Goblins with 31. Abdulaziz with 28. And Jameson with 20 and 17. For the Legends, Marks led the way with 16. Taylor with 15, and George with 13 and 19. The Bison went to Indianapolis and lost yet another game, as Little led the way for the Shift with 18. Coleman had 13, and Long had 10 and 13. For the Bison, Strawberry led the way with 23 points. We see Bates had 19, and Fung had only 6, 10, and 3. As the Pioneers defended home court against the Titans, they won this one by 14. Cunningham led the way with 26 for the Pioneers, and Kanate had 21, and Spears had 20 and 14 and 8. As Doug White led the way for the Titans, a big surprise, 39 points, 21 rebounds, and 6 assists. He's been a dog all year. Figueroa also had 16 and 10. On the 28th, the game we just saw, the one that ended in overtime, we can see that they did end up only winning by 2, even with the stats doing what they do. DeJuan Jones had 27 and 27. Maravich had 24. And for the Huskies, Bradley had 35. Justice hit the big-time game winner and had 19. As the Legends went to Utah to play the Buzz and got a nice 9-point win. 26 points for Wagner. He led the way for the Buzz. Johnson was down here with 13, 7, and 10. Reggie George led the way for the Legends with 24 and 10. Taylor had 18, and Robinson Earl had 15. The Sting played the Apollos and got a nice 18-point W, as Hayden Oakley led the way with 26 and 15. Hart had 11. And for the Sting, Lions 23 and 13, Garuba 17, and Williams 15, 15, and 7. As this year was a leap year, this year was a leap year, so we got the old February 29th games, as the Flamingos barely beat the Cobras by 1 in Brooklyn. That's a big win for the Flamingos. Baja led the way for the Cobras with 23. Stone had 26 and 8. As for the Flamingos, Cauley Stein led the way with 25. Antonov with 23, 13, and 10. Stackhouse with 12 and 14, and Jordan with 19, as they continue to improve. The Shift win yet another game and are now 15 and 5 as they beat the Goblins. Jameson had 20, Wade Cage 18 and 17, not enough for the Goblins. Little had 24, and Haley had 22. Foster with 13 and 10, and a double-double for Long with 10 and 12. Our first day of March, last day of the week, we see that the Pandas took an L to the Buzz by 9. Con led the way with 18, 13, and 9. and Walker was down here with a double-double. Johnson led the way for the Buzz, 21-14 and 14. A nice game from him, and that was about it for the Buzz. As the Huskies, after that nice game winner, take a 33-point L to Memphis, as Heinz led the way with 22, 25. Baxter had 22, and Zigaranovich down here with 9 and 15. Justice led the way again for the Huskies with 20, and Owen Bradley had 17 and 10, along with Boomshay. Boomshay had 17. The Shift win yet another game as they beat the Pioneers in Portland. Denzel Spears 23, 15 and 6. Shaw 20 and 11. Cunningham 14 and 10. Not enough to get it done. James Long led the way for the Shift with 25. Towns with 18. Cousins with 16 and 10, and Foster with 13 and 15. As that does it for that week, as we will go ahead and look at, not award races, the season awards. As we see that the player of the week for this past week was Doug White and DeJuan Jones, and then the player of the month for February was Doug White and Midas Khan. So after all that, we will go ahead and send you into the second game of these highlight reel.
For game number 2, we are headed out to Sacramento as we will watch the Detroit Titans play the Sacramento Sting. Both of these teams on the cusp of making the playoffs, but not quite in right now. As here's Williams picking up a steal early as he goes at the rim and gets the Sting their first 2 points. Here he is again. Goes right around his man, and he decides to slam this one. Laid it in when he was wide open, but in traffic he's going to dunk it. So here's Williams again. Another lay-in. He is on fire here early as he's got 6 of the Sting's 8. Here he is again. Going up and 1. He's got 8 points. He's got more than the Titans right now as he hits the free throw to give himself 9. Here's Figueroa. Not really known for threes, but he's wide open, so he'll take it and hit it. Down to a 1-point Sting lead. Next Titans possession. There's Green at the rim, and he dunks it home. As Figueroa again, 3, way too open. He nails it. Like I said, not known to be a 3-point shooter, but when he's got that much room, he'll take it. As here's Williams at the rim again as he continues to score at will inside. Here's Hardy, mid-range jumper, no good. Doug White, rebound, and he's getting garbage points, which he loves to do. 2-point lead now for the Titans as Gavechi, off the slick feed, throws it down. And here they are again, another slam as Hardy catches the lob. 5-point lead now for the Titans. Here's Hardy. He's going to drop it into Carpenter. Carpenter goes up, and he gets swatted, but Doug White just picks it up and puts it in. It is now a 9-point Titans lead. Williams finds Roach in the corner on an absolute laser with the left hand, and he puts it in for 3. 7-point game now. Doug White gets the rebound. He's going right around Quigley, just bullying his way in. Little drop step, goes up amongst 2 men, and puts it in. 9-point game now, or 7-point game. Figueroa, no good. Doug White, now it's a 9-point game. A bit of a spoiler there. 11-point game. Figueroa, Doug White inside, throws it down as they are running all over this Sting team. As here's a shot contested by Williams, and Doug White gets it back and throws it down on him, looking like Vince Carter on Alonzo Mourning after he blocked his teammate. As there's Williams getting another nice and easy hook shot inside. As here's Kinsey off the pass from Villa. The defense collapsed, and they get an easy 3 out of it. So now a 10-point game. Doug White going to catch a lob. This one will go into the 4th quarter, a 12-point Titans lead. As here's Manchunguana off the pass from Figueroa, and this one is getting out of hand in the 4th. It is now a 16-point Titans lead. Figueroa almost lost it, goes to Manchunguana, who nails another 3. So now almost a 20-point lead. It's at 19. Here's Williams. They need something here with 4 minutes to go. He finds Ronald. Ronald pulls a 3 at the top and nails it. So now the lead is at 16. Here's Manchunguana a little bit later. Goes to Doug White, who puts it in. And this one is pretty much all but over as the final score will be 70-55, and the Titans get that much closer to getting a playoff spot.
Here we are checking out some box scores on the week. On March 2nd, the Hustlers took an L to the Legends as they're now below 500 by 2 games. The Legends take this one by 4. Reggie George, 28 and 13, a nice game for him. Taylor with 16 as well. For the Hustlers, Rob Duncan led the way with 23 and 10, and the Natch Bar had 19. Going into the Goblins-Royals games, the Royals won this one by 3 at home in Anaheim, as Rich Mack had 33, and Breda Kolf with 20. Rogers had 14 and 10, and Kenny Dimes had 19 and 9. For the Goblins, Wade Cage led the way with 20 and 11. Red had 18, and Abdulaziz had 17. On the 3rd, the game we just saw,
Titans end up taking this one by 26. Brian Williams dropped a 30-point game, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals. Clark behind him with 13. For the Titans, Figueroa had 42. Doug White had 32 and 31. Big games for both of these guys. As we go into the fourth, the Wranglers take a 30-point L to the Huskies at home. Lamar Outlaw led the way for the Wranglers with 20. Shelton behind him with 19, 14, and 8. And for the Huskies, Raven led the way with 23. Justice with 26 and 5. And then Thornburg down here with a double-double as well. Nothing on the fifth. So on the sixth, the Cobras go to the Brigade and get a nice, 34-point win. DeJuan Jones led the way for the Brigade with 21 and 12. And then Van Arsdale with 12 as well. Evan Stone dropped 33 and Dyson dropped 30. Stone had 34 and Dyson had 33 and 12 as they continue to be one of the best backcourts in the league. The Predators take a 6-point L to the Bison in Oklahoma City as Towers led the way for the Bisons with 18. Lu Feng was 17 and 10 and 9 as well. As for the Predators, Snyder led the way with 18. Dandridge with 16 and 10, and Ball with 12 and 12. Going into the seventh, the Townhawks lose yet again, this time by 21 to the Titans, as Figueroa led the way again with 23 and 11. Manchunguana had 19, and Doug White had 16 and 15. For the Townhawks, Somerton had 32, and we see Xander Myers all the way down here with just 7, 15, and 7. The Enforcers went to Portland and got a 2-point win. They escape from Portland with the W. R.J. Miller leads the way for the Pioneers with 21, Shaw with 20 and 12, and Spears down here with 13, 11, and 10. That's a triple-double, but they were not enough for the Enforcers as Morris has 27 and 18, Will Trust with 15 and 12, and Sanders with 14. As we go into another Cobras game, they win this one by 1 in New Orleans. Newman led the way for the Pandas with 28, Hayes with 22, and Kahn with 14, 15, and 14, a big-time triple-double. Not enough as Stone has 41, Kane has 20, and Inechyan, I still don't know how to say his name, 17 and 10 for him. As we go into the last day of the week, the Moose beat the Flamingos by 18 as Kanye Jordan leads away for the Flamingos with 31, Stackhouse with 15, Antonov with 13, 14, and 13, a triple-double for him as Farmer leads away for the Moose in the win, 22 and 13. Gilbert had 19 and 12, and Love had 16. As that does it for this week. Season awards, Player of the Week, Evan Stone and Midas Khan both win Player of the Week for their respective conferences. I think that is a first for both of them. It is. So congrats to those two guys for winning Player of the Week. And was it time to look at Player of the Month? I think it was. Doug White and Midas Khan win Player of the Month. I don't know. Did February just end? Nope, it was last week. Haha. Well, you got to see him a second time anyway. Let's go into Game 3. For Game 3, we travel out to Orlando to watch the Apollos take on the Minnesota Moose, as the Apollos desperately need a win to try and get into the playoffs, and the Moose need one to try to stay in, as I do believe that they are the 8 right now, as we see Farmer getting a nice dunk right off the bat there. And then Oakley responds with a floater. 4-2 now. Here's Applin, top of the key. Just has to throw one up at the end of the shot clock. Can't hit it. Hayden Oakley rebound as he puts it in. Getting some second chance points, showing that he wants to be in those playoffs. A double screen for Love as he finds Gilbert inside. And he gets his first basket in a big way. As we're approaching the end of the first is another dime. This time from Mix as he finds a man on the inside to slam it. As here's Gilbert. Little finger roll on the inside. Got to have somebody bigger defending him in there, as once again he's got a huge mismatch. He just walks right around them and almost just makes it look too easy. As Gilbert again, fast break now at the rim. Guys are just too little as he just keeps laying it up and over them. 2-point lead now. As there's a miss, but Farmer throws it down off the miss from Gilbert as now he's got it in the paint. He throws up a hook. Gilbert this time with the rebound, and he puts one down. So the big men from Minnesota doing it all right now as they are now up to a 2-point lead. But Oakley wipes it away off the 3 and puts the Apollos back out in front. Apollos down 1 again. Here's Oakley on the spin. Goes up, floater among 2 men and hits it. Apollos now lead by 1. Back and forth we go. Next Moose possession. Here's Hanlon. He's going to go to Gilbert at the end of the shot clock, who nails one in the face of the defender. Falls into the opposing team's bench. And they head the other way. Oakley, some more second chance points. We're tied at 27. Now deep into the third quarter. Here's Hart giving the Apollos a 4-point lead. Now it's up to 6. As here's Hart again. And he's going to get fouled from behind by Farmer. What a terrible foul. And he will not hit the free throw though, but it is an 8-point lead down to 5 as Love hits the 3. Now it's a 7-point lead. Apollo's mid-range shot, no good. Oakley gets the rebound and puts it in again. Now a 9-point game. Here's Gilbert, gets Oakley on the pump fake. Still just showing the moves off in the paint. Gets his own rebound and then lays it in, as nobody has been big enough to guard Cy Gilbert down there. 7-point game now. Make it 9. Off the bucket from Oakley, who gets an and one, hits the free throw. It's a 10-point lead for the Apollos. Here's Oakley inside again, just bully ball on his way past Hanlon, and he lays another one in. 12-point game with 4:45 to go. Oakley, too much room, in Farmer's face, hits the three, and it's now a 17-point game. Hanlon goes at the hoop as he'll dunk one, but this might be a little too late, as here's Love off the pass from Hanlon. He's going to throw one down, but it's a 13-point lead still with almost less than 2 minutes to go. And Hart, that might be the exclamation point on this win, as they still have a 15-point lead in the ball, as there's a miss inside. Oakley rebound, puts it in, as that might be all she wrote. It is 15-point win for the Apollos, as Hanlon just puts up one there at the end of the game just to pad his stats a little bit, I guess. So here we are checking out some box scores on the week. In game number 1 of this week, the Shift defeated the Town Hawks by just 1, but a win is still a win nonetheless. 25 for Little, 15 for Long, 15 for Towns, 15 for Haley, and Foster was down here with 9, 10, and 11. Harrington led the way for the Town Hawks with 19, Myers with 18, 7, and 5. Not a bad game from him, as the Moose we just saw this game, took a pretty hard L to the Apollos. As we see, Oakley had 39 and 26, Hart had 31 for the Moose, Gilbert had 29 and 18, Farmer had 20 and 14. And the next day, the Royals defeated the Sting by 2 in Sacramento. Brian Williams led the way for the Sting, 25 points and 11 assists, and Quigley had 18. For the Royals, Dimes had 28 and 13, Rogers had 26, and Mack had 22. The Knights went to the buzz and took a 19-point L, as Wagner had 33 and 9. DeAndre Johnson had 31, 13, and 8, so some big games from them. Heinsohn had 32, 11, and 4, and Bohannon had 23. Going into March 10th, the Sharks defeat the Cougars by 20 in Charlotte, as Akibono Sheng had 28, 14, and 4, and Adams had 15. Quentin Pope had 25 and 16, Goodrich Butler had 22, and Zogato had 22 and 10. On the 11th, the Wranglers took an L to the Moose in Minnesota, as Farmer had 23, Love had 21, and Benningfield had 20. For the Wranglers, Outlaw had 31, Shelton had 22 and 15, and Witherspoon had 16 and 12. The Enforcers went to Anaheim to play the Royals and took a 1-point L in overtime, as Rogers had 32, Mack had 24, 13, and Dimes had 23, 18, and 17. A huge game from Kenny Dimes, as Morris led the way for the Enforcers with 30 and 11. Hawkins had 24 and 12, and Will Trust had 13 and 9. The Bison and Skyliners went to OT and each team had very high scoring numbers. This might be the highest we've ever seen. The Bison do win 160-159, as Jean Francis had 36 and 19. Solomon had 29 and 12, 22 for Richards, and 19 for Dambrowskis. For the Bison, Towers had 30, Bates had 27 and 12, Strawberry had 24 and 16, Davis Reitzel had 21, Ahern had 21, and Lufeng had 11. The Buzz went to Detroit to play the Titans and took a 14-point L, as Doug White led the way for the Titans with 35 and 15. Manchin-Guana had 19. As for the Buzz, Bohannon led the way with 20, and Johnson had 19 and 12. Going into the 12th, we had nothing. Then on the 13th, the Bison took an L by 19 to the Enforcers. Mosley McAfee led the way for the Enforcers with 19, along with Sanders and Morris, who both also had 19. Trust had 18 and 14, and Hawkins had 18 and 10. Bates led the way for the Bisons with 30, and Fung had 13 and 13, and Wright had 10 and 13. The Flamingos took an L to the Skyliners in New York, as Jean Francis had 24, 19, and 8. Solomon had 18 and 9, and Dambrowskis had 15. For the Flamingos, Achille Antonov 25, 11, and 11, another triple-double, and Anaji had 15 and 11. On the 14th, the Hilltoppers had a 1-point win against the Huskies. As we see, Parker Puff had 34, 9, and 9. Hollenkorn had 17. Sullivan had 15. For the Huskies, Raven led the way with 21. Bradley had 19, 10, and 7, and Justice had 19, and Santos de Oliveira had 12 and 16 down there. The Enforcers lost to the Cobras in Brooklyn as Stone led the way for the Cobras with 40 and 10. Dyson behind him with 30 and 12. They continue to be a deadly duo. Morris led the way for the Enforcers with 18 and 13. Truss was 17 and 10. The Buzz beat the Shift by 10 as Haley led the way for the Shift with 21. Foster was 17 and 14, and Long with 15 and 10. Wagner led the way for the Buzz with 30 and 11. Or not Wagner. Johnson had 30 and 11. Wagner had 23, and Worley Talbert had 14, along with Willingham's 13 and 11. The Apollos went to the Royals and took a 16-point L as Dimes led the way with 32 and 13. Mack had 26 and 11. For the Apollos, Hart had 23, and Oakley was down here with 15 and 11. Brown also put in 19. The Detroit Titans scored 146 points in regulation, winning this one by 19, as Manchin-Guana had 27, Doug White had 25 and 14, and Moncrief had 21. Ahern had 24 for the Bison, and Fung had 23 and 13. Bates also had 22, and Strawberry had 22 and 10. As we go into our last day of the week, the Sharks beat the Flamingo, or the Sharks lost to the Flamingos by, 34? Nope, 24. Haha, quick masters, not my specialties, we know this. Kelly Antonov had 36, 14, and 17. Nanaji had 25 and 10, and Carson had 20. Gildreth Butler led the way for the Sharks with 23. Pope had 21 and 11, and Tatum had 21. As we will go ahead into the Player of the Week. This week, it was Jean Francis and Kenny Dimes, both went for their respective conferences. Both had some pretty big performances. Kenny Dimes had that nice triple-double, and Jean Francis just dominated all around. For the last game of the video, we traveled to Cincinnati to watch the Bulldogs play the Hustlers, as both of these teams need wins to keep their playoff hopes alive. As here's Chuck Armstrong, as he's going to do a little bit too fancy of a layup there for that being that wide open. As here's Abdul Wahad in the corner off Natchbar's pass. As there's our first buckets of the game, it is now 5-2 Baltimore. Here's Chuck, a little pump fake, and he just says that's too much room as he nails the three in the face of Natchbar. I can tell you right now that Natchbar did not like that. As here's Jolly Harper off the screen. He's going to nail a three. And Cincinnati has gotten going early. 7-10 now. Here's, I don't know if that has name yet, but he finds Beretta off the slick bounce pass. And Beretta throws it down. Into the second quarter now. Abdul Wahad just sat down there calling for the lob, and he finally got one. As here's, Duncan gets an offensive rebound, though, and puts it in. 3-point game now into the third. Natchbar in that corner. He nails it in the face of Chuck Armstrong. As he maybe a little getting him back there from earlier. As here he is again off the inbound with the time winding down. Nails one, falling into the Bulldogs bench. As you can tell that he is not happy as Duncan nails a mid-range jumper. As here's Babcock finding Lloyd Curry. Lloyd Curry for three. He doesn't have a whole lot of highlights, but he nails this one to give the Hustlers an 11-point lead as Beretta puts it back down to 9 off the slam. Here's Duncan hitting a fadeaway in the post. That is now an 11-point lead. Natchbar again, 2 open for 3 as he hits yet another one. That's the 3-point champion, guys. You got to get out there. 18-point game. Natchbar bullying his way in on Chuck Armstrong, as that will be all she wrote. This one was a lot of free throws and a lot of defensive battles. That is a 20-point win for the Hustlers. So here we are checking out some box scores for that last week of action in, well, halfway through March. The Hustlers did end up defeating the Bulldogs by 35, not the game we wanted it to be at all. DJ Jelly Harper had 19, Woolridge had 16 and 10, Armstrong only had 10, and Beretta had 10 and 12. Not a great game from the Bulldogs at all, as Natchbar had 21 and Rob Duncan had 19 and 31, and Abdul Wahad had 16 and 14 for the Hustlers. The Skyliners defeated the Legends by 14, as Bumgartner had 24, Marks had 16, and George had 12 and 12, but it was not enough to beat the Skyliners, as John Francis had 30 and 15, Solomon had 25, and Richards had 22. The Pandas defeated the Enforcers by 11, as Sanders had 28 for the Enforcers. Will Trust had 19 and 10, and Morris had 14 and 15. Hawkins with 12 and 13 as well. But the Pandas defeated them, obviously by 11. Domerkant had 26, Newman had 23, Sun Min had 17, and Khan had 13, 11, and 19. 19 assists for Midas Khan, a huge triple-double. As the Shift escape with yet another win. It seems like they've won their past 3 or 4 games by just 1 point, this time in overtime. As Long led the way with 29 and 14. Coleman had 19. Little had 18, 8 and 3. Cousins had 14 and 11, and Foster had 12 and 10. For the Sharks, Narush had 26. Ellis Jr. had 22. Tatum 20. Quentin Pope 19 and 13. In the last game of March 16th, the Apollos lost to the Bison by 9, as the Apollos' playoff hopes are dwindling, as Lufeng had 31-16, Bates had 25-8, and Strawberry had 18. Hayden Oakley had 39, 11, and 5. McCoy had 19, and Blue had 15. Going into the 17th, the Cougars take a huge L by 38 to the Wranglers, as Lamar Shelton had 37, 11, and 12, a triple-double for him. Outlaw had 24, and Witherspoon had 24 and 13. Akibano Sheng had 16 and 11. Cambridge had 13, and Ming all had 13 in the loss. The Hilltoppers defeated the Pandas by 5, as Midas Khan had 22, 13, and 14. Newman had 15, and Domercant had 15. As for the Hilltoppers, Holland Corn had 18, Parker Puff had 16, and Leto had 14. The Enforcers lose this one to the Hustlers by 19, as Natchbar had 35, Babcock had 15, Perizich Jippy, no clue, and Abdul Wahad both had 12. Abdul Wahad also had 13 rebounds. For the Enforcers, Sanders had 34, Trust had 17, and Morris had 13. Going into the 18th, the Titans take a 29-point L at home to the Brigade, as Doug White had 23 and 17, Moncrief had 22, and Figueroa had 19. For the Brigade, 27 and 13 for DeJuan Jones, 24 and 10 for McKenneth, and 22 for Lumpkin. The Brigade played another game and got another win against the Skyliners. They won this one by a monster amount, 124. I'm not even going to try and guess at what that amount is. Hold on. 24-18, so 42? 42. 42-point win for the Brigade. Look at Blake doing quick maths. For the Skyliners, Richards had 15, Dambrowskis had 11, and John Francis had 10 and 21. As for the Brigade, Woodard had 18, McKenneth had 17, DeJuan Jones had 17, 21, and 14, a triple-double, and Mirovich had 16. On the 20th, the Titans beat the Bulldogs by 12, as we see that Jelly Harper had 31, Armstrong had 28, and Beretta had 14 and 13, as Manchin-Guana had 21, Doug White 21 and 13, and Moncrief had 20. Going into the 21st, the Blaze defeat the Cougars by 38, so the Cougars seem like they have really fallen off here, as Shang and Carvacho both had 16, and Ming down here with a 10-point, 10-assist double-double. BJ Riley continues to stay hot as he goes here. He has 47 points and 13 rebounds. Johnson had 17 as well. As going into the next game, the Titans defeat the Hustlers by 10, as Natchbar had 32, Abdul Wahad had 27, and Duncan had 21 and 14. Moncrief had 32, Doug White 23 and 19, and Manchin-Guana had 20, and Figueroa had 14 and 10 to go along with that. The Enforcers beat the Huskies by 4. As we see, Owen Bradley had 21, Boomshay was 17. And for the Enforcers, Morris had 23 and 17, and Will Truss was down here with 14, as we see Hawkins had 14 and 13. The Shift scraped by again. They keep finding ways to win, as Long had 23, Cousins 17, and Foster 15 and 13. For the Brigade, Jones with 24 and 14, and McKenneth and Woodard both had 17. The Townhawks finally get their 5th win, as they win this home game by 4, as Xander Myers has 24 and 11, Harrington has 17, and Kellogg had 10 and 10. Lamar Outlaw put up 33 in this one. Lamar Shelton with an 18, 17, and 12 triple-double, but they did not get the win. You do not want to lose to the Townhawks, especially when jogging for a playoff position. The Bisons beat the Pioneers by 16. Cunningham had 24, Shaw had 20 and 10, Miller had 17. As we see Spears all the way down here with just 5 points and no made baskets from the field. So we see Towers had 19, Strawberry 18, and Fung 16, 10, and 9. Good Lord. The Whales take another huge L, this one by 26 in Utah. Wagner had 28, Warley Talbert had 21, and Johnson had 18, 9, and 10. Big game from the Buzz. William Strong had 10 and 12 as well. M. Boyd led the way for the White Whales with 18, Del Negro 17, and Guerrero had 16, but it was not enough to get them the win, as that was our last day on the week, I do believe it was. So we'll check out who won Player of the Week. It was Hayden Oakley and B.J. Wiley, both win for their respective conferences. I don't know if B.J. Riley's won twice, just twice it looks like, and that is Hayden Oakley's second time winning as well. So some good stuff from both of those guys. As we will look at the playoff picture at the beginning of next episode, we will go over that at the beginning of next episode to see who really needs to get wins here in these last 4 weeks. But that is all the time I have for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe, and I will see all of you guys next time. Bye-bye.